There we go. Am I live now? You can see me and hear me, I hope. Let me see. Check YouTube. Yep. There we go. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, so there we are. Let me switch back to the biker helmet for a little bit. So that y'all can hopefully some people will join seeing that I'm live now. So yeah, this is typically my wintertime and highway helmet, and this is what I favor when I'm doing those those activities, riding on the highway, going fast, going hard, and want the protection that the chin bit does. But this is a modular helmet, so I can lift it up like this. So ain't that fancy. Then that way I can pop it up when I'm at a gas station, talk. I can walk into the gas station, get some snacks, gas, whatever. Huh? Dinner's happening in about 25 minutes, bud. I'm live.
Is you on live?
Yeah, I'm live. I'm in a live. And I got ENG in here and Stephen Wallace. So got a few people willing to chat with me, even though it's dinner time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dinner's almost ready. Meat's still cooking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do have a video uploading right now to YouTube. We'll see how long that takes. I think it's got another 7 or 8 minutes on this bad boy that I just received yesterday and got a chance to fiddle around with today. This is the Condor Chief in their sport line. So yeah, right around $100, and it's got that 14C28N blade steel. It is sharp. I murdered some an onion and a little bit of pepper with it in the video, so that'll be posting here shortly. But what's for dinner? Ian, I've got a tenderloin that sat on the grill for about 2.5 hours. That is now in the Instapot for 25 minutes. And it'll be delicious as always, along with mashed potatoes and corn, just a can of corn. But yeah, so this morning it was 36 degrees outside when I took the bike to work and rode the bike to work. It was 36 degrees outside. So when you're going 40, 50 miles an hour on the motorcycle, it feels more like 15. I'm crazy. But yeah, it was cold. It was cold as shit. I wore this had this t-shirt, nice fleece lined shirt, and then I had a down puffy jacket, and then my riding jacket, when not 100% windproof, but wind resistant, highly wind resistant jacket that I wore on top of that. And then I also had a skull cap, merino wool skull cap on underneath the helmet, and some nice winter gloves. And I was still cold. I hadn't had the boots on, blue jeans, but yeah. It's only about a 20-minute ride to work with traffic in the morning, and in the afternoon when I get off at 2:00. It takes me about 17 to 18 minutes to get home with not nearly the amount of traffic. But in that short distance, that short amount of time, when it's that cold, my thighs get really, really cold. My nuts go up into my stomach, and my fingertips get a little just a little cold there at the end, and my face, of course, even though I've got the helmet. A little bit of airflow goes inside, and I still get a little cold in the face. But again, I'm not going very far for very long, or going on the highway going super fast, so it ain't that freaking bad. Yeah, definitely freeze the nuts off. Yeah, my shift, I'm part-time cuz the wife's a nurse. She does 13, 14-hour days. And then the kids go to school. I have the 3 youngins. So they go to school. So I pretty much drop them off at school at 7:30 in the morning, and then get my ass into work at as close to 8 o'clock as I can. and then and then I'm off at 2 so that I can get home, hop in the car, and go pick up the kids from school. So yeah, those are my work days. And then I come home, figure out what the hell to make for dinner, watch some YouTube videos, fiddle around with some stuff, tinker a little bit maybe, while dinner's cooking, bullshit with you guys, and then have dinner, and then bullshit some more, or work on something, get a chore done, laundry, typical boring house stuff, lame stuff. But I did mention on Wednesday that I am going to Blade Show in Atlanta at the beginning of June, and I am riding the bike. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off because I don't like wearing this thing that much. Just thought it'd be fun. Show you guys me in the helmet with the helmet on. That's better. Hey Reese, what's up, man? What's up, Mike? How you doing? I'm good. Like I said, froze this morning going into work on the bike, but what was I saying? Yeah, so I am going to Blaze Show. I'm taking the bike, and I'm going to camp with my backpacking tent and gear at a nearby campground that should allow me to save some freaking money and maybe buy another knife at Blade Show. Mike's having shrimp and rice. I have shrimp in the deep freezer. I actually was going through the deep freezer in the garage the other day and suddenly realized that I have like 5 pounds of shrimp in our deep freezers that I didn't know we had. So that was cool. Maybe I'll do shrimp tomorrow night. That sounds like a good idea. If you notice, this got a little shorter from seeing myself on the live on Wednesday. I was like, yeah, this needs to be taken care of. And I did my own whack job on the hair, trimmed that up a little bit. I got some fun over here. Got some hat hair. Yeah, I'm always, if I don't have a hat on, I have the motorcycle helmet on. That's kind of how I am. Yeah, $5 more on a knife. Hopefully, because I haven't actually stayed in Atlanta in a long time. Oh, let's see. I took the wife to Six Flags up there about 7 years ago. Yeah, about 7 years ago. That was the last time I actually stayed in Atlanta overnight and went out to eat and did things. So it's been a while. Even though I grew up on the northeast side of Atlanta. And still know Atlanta pretty well. All the Peachtree streets and Peachtree corners and Peachtree this and Peachtree that. There's a lot of peach trees, roads in downtown Atlanta area. But yeah. Oh, Ed Harrison, what's up, man? Hey, glad to see you pop in in here. So, like I said, the Condor fixed blade that I got from White Mountain Knives arrived yesterday evening, and so this afternoon after work, I got to play with them and did a video, and that's being uploaded to YouTube right now. So, um, I got a question for the few of you. What was up with the live last night with Grumpy and everybody's poking fun at me about me and all the things that I can and cannot, definitely cannot do. And y'all are a laugh. Y'all are a whole bunch of fun. I can't wait to meet some of y'all at Blade Show. I really can't wait. And we just it's just such a good group. Uh, the the pile of fellas, guys and gals. Um, yeah, I appreciate the fact that y'all bothered to listen to me with my stories and my rants and whatnot, and watch some of my videos. I'm finally getting more comments on my videos, which is nice. I love comments on my videos, whether it's just a quick hey or if you got a question. Uh, if I don't already know the answer, I can find the answer for you pretty quick. You usually miss Grumpy's lives. We were everybody was all over the place last night in his live. We were just the amount of side conversations, and we were driving Grumpy crazy, I'm sure, because he's trying to keep up with all of us and who's saying what, and we were all just having good laughs, having a good time. So yeah, that was great. Um, yeah, well, Mike, I don't know. I know I've done a lot of cool stuff growing up. I haven't since having kids, since getting married and time in the military. Time in the military really killed my fun as far as all the activities and things that I like to do and places I liked going. The military is very demanding of your time. Uh, is exhausting. Um, but yeah, I've had parents that liked to do a lot of traveling, and I got into a lot of activities. Your extreme sports type activities. And I was just one of those kids growing up that just always had to stay busy. And I always have had the mentality of finding something that I was interested in, learning as much about it as I could, getting as good at it as I could, and had a blast with it. And then once I felt like I could do as much as I could with that activity, I'd move on to another one. And then another one, and then another one. So I was constantly picking up sports and hobbies and activities, and yeah, I was very restless as far as that went. But yeah, and my parents had one of those not a motorhome, but a camper that you pull behind a vehicle, and we'd go camping all the time in that thing. I was in scouts, so I did a lot of camping, tent camping, all my backpacking, uh, uh, hiking, rock climbing. I got into that, and bouldering, which is basically rock climbing without all the safety gear, all the ropes, usually not climbing so high up, but a little more dangerous. I'm definitely a thrill seeker. I love doing things that have a certain amount of danger to them. At the same time, uh, safety still always kept in mind. But oh, I had a blast using this earlier this evening, And let's see, pocket checks. I carried the black mirror, the Ace Black, Max Ace Black Mirror. Carried that guy today in one pocket. And then the other guy that I carried was this guy, the Cobra Tech D2 blade, OTF. They're surprisingly good. I know it's not a true OTF, so a lot of people say that they kind of copycat a few others. But it's solid. It's solid. I've don't use it a whole lot. Just a little bit of side to side blade play, but nice pocket clip. I like to take this guy when I'm riding the bike a lot because I can pull it out with the glove on, deploy it, cut a package open, and get rid of it just so quickly with just so much ease. With the gloves on, being on the bike, it works really, really well. It's the only OTF that I have, at least at this point. I'm not a huge fan of them, but it works, and it's nice when I'm on the bike. So, I've got 5,700 miles on the bike so far since I got it last Easter. But I'm mostly using as a commuter, so I don't ride it a whole lot, and with gas not being dirt cheap, even though the bike gets great gas mileage, it still goes through gas. So, it's it's mostly a commuter for me, and I don't ride in groups. I joined a group when I first got the bike. I was like excited, like anybody would be with a new motorcycle or first time owning a motorcycle. I wanted to get with a group and just have that experience and gain some knowledge from other riders and see how they do and make sure that I was not picking up any bad riding habits. And so I joined a group of young fellas and a couple gals, and most, like 90% of the group was sport bikes, crotch rockets, and they were all, every single one of them. I was the oldest, and I'm 35. I'm not that old, so the fact that all these bikers, they're all a bunch of young bucks on their crotch rockets. They were zipping around and going 25 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, and that goofing around at stoplights and shenanigans. And I was just like, that's not how I want to ride. That's not how I want to do my motorcycle. So I didn't like that group very much, so I decided to drop them like a bad habit that they were in my point of view. And the next group, I joined up with a group that had mostly older gentlemen, and I was one of the 3 or 4 youngest out of the 30 some guys and gals. And I didn't like riding with them because they would pick a place. They would pick a place for lunch or dinner or whatever, as a destination that was, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour and a half, taking a normal route to the destination. And then they would want to go and do this road and that side road, and like scenic route after scenic route attached to another scenic route, and like a destination that would have been 45 to 55 minutes in the car, 3.5 hours later, and a whole bunch of gas later, couple of gas stops, and it's just like, come on, fellas. I like riding, but where I live down in South Coastal Georgia, there's not winding, mountainous, beautiful view type roads around here. It's kind of just flat, boring, straight shit, and some marsh, a little bit of woodlands, but um, some farm fields as you go out towards the middle part of the state, down here in the South. But yeah, it's just not that kind of riding that it would be all that much more enjoyable. And so these old fellas wanting to do these long ass rides on these straight boring roads was not my cup of tea either. So I've I don't know if it's just because I haven't found the right group, the right gang to ride with, or it's just the fact that I've kind of just gotten really comfortable in riding my own ride and just riding when I want to ride, where I want to ride, picking, my destinations, my time, how much time I've got to put towards doing a ride, with all being me in charge is kind of my preference. At least it's become my preference at this point. So, yeah, I do need to get a video on all the EDC items that I carry in my saddlebags. I do keep a the Leatherman Rev, which is a great Leatherman, in my opinion, if you're not able to or don't want to spend 70, 80, 90 and up dollars on a Leatherman multi-tool. The Rev is a really good, more entry level Leatherman multi-tool.
Daddy, so we can have a sleepover at Lily's house?
No, not tonight. No.
Didn't your mom say yes?
Yeah, well, I'm saying no.
So I can go get home.
Yeah, tell them that they need to come home for dinner.
Okay, yes, sure.
Okay, he's almost 6. Riley's almost 6. That's my that's little man. That's little Urban. Yeah. So asking me questions. But yeah, the Leatherman Rev is a great multi-tool on the cheap for a Leatherman. So I got that in the saddlebag with some other EDC items, useful items. I've ordered and keep one of those battery-powered air pumps to fill tires. I've got a tire patch kit, some other safety stuff. I like having a ShamWow towel. I keep a ShamWow towel in one of the saddlebags. Last time I met up with Beard of Doom, he borrowed it, the ShamWow towel, to wipe off his seat and stuff because it was a little rainy when we made that meetup trip that day. So yeah, that ShamWow towel comes in handy in wiping off the bike seat before you have to sit your fat ass onto it. But so yeah, I love riding the bike. I rode. My cousins had dirt bikes when I was a kid, and every time we were over at their place, I was on the dirt bikes. I had a friend who had a dirt bike that we rode all the damn time. We'd take out to the trails. And a couple of funny stories of him. That was actually the second time he dislocated his knee was crashing his dirt bike. He wedged that son of a bitch right in between these two trees. That shit was so funny. He's just hauling ass down the trail, and he missed dirt jump ramp that that we had built up that was there on the trail. He missed it, sideswiped one tree, and that kind of pushed him in between, and he went right in between these two trees like a field goal post that was too small for him being on the bike, and the his knee hit the one tree, and that took him off of the bike, and the bike went through between the trees and went into the dirt, into the ground. Like it was just one of those things like that you would see on a Jackass movie, um where, where his ass got knocked off of the bike because his knee hit the tree, and the bike just went down into a ditch. So but he dislocated his knee. That was the second time. This guy has Michael Newport. He's dislocated, a friend of mine growing up. He's dislocated his knee four times in a 7-year, 8-year span. Like 7 or 8 years, he dislocated his knee 4 times. Had to quit playing basketball. Had to quit this. Had to quit that. There's a lot he couldn't do by like the third time he dislocated it. But one time he dislocated was when we were water tubing behind a speedboat on Lake Lanier, up there in just above Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, it was one of those tubes that had the mesh bit underneath the tube so that you wouldn't fall through it. And I guess just the way he was riding the waves in the wake from the boat, one of his knee got wedged up underneath. They're coming. Okay. His knee got wedged up underneath, and I guess he hit a wave, and that just popped it right out. So he was screaming in pain, put the thumbs down to stop the boat, and one of the dads, pulled him in close to the boat, and he was just screaming in pain, and they're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he's like, "My knee, my knee, my knee." And so the two dads tried their best to, as carefully and as slowly as they could, pull him out of the tube onto the back of the boat there. And oh my God, like the sweetest sounding pop noise. like imagine the Pringles cans, the pop of the Pringles cans. Imagine like 30 of those being popped exactly at the same time. Just a magnified sound of a Pringles can being popped. That's what it sounded like when his knee went back into its socket as they pulled him out of the tube. And so yeah, it was a little scary. It was very painful for him, but it was kind of funny. It's kind of funny hearing his knee pop back into its socket. So yeah, that was good times. Let's see here. I got another story. Camping story. With the scouts, it was a quick, a very short, in and out backpacking trip. I think it was a bunch. I had just shifted from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, so I was new. I was like 11, 12 years old. And it was one of those backpacking trips for the newbies, as we were called. And so it's just like, probably two and a half miles in to the campsite, and then the same back out. So, very short, just a handful of hours it took for a bunch of us little ones, at a snail pace with heavy camping backpacking gear. But when we in the campsite, when we got to the campsite, there was a vine. There was a handful of vines in some of the trees, and one of the vines was a nice thick one, good to hang on to. and hung real low so that you could actually swing over a little gully. Um, and so a swinging vine, and all of us kids were all totally gung ho about spending our entire afternoon in camp there. We didn't want to do anything else. Didn't want to go branch off and try to find a waterfall or anything. No exploring. We just wanted to swing on that damn vine over and over and over again. And so the dads were all kind of like setting up camp and getting firewood and getting food ready and what filtering water and whatever, while we were just swinging on this vine. So then once they realized what we were doing, uh one of the dads came over and said, hey, hold up, y'all don't even know if this vine is safe enough for y'all to be swinging on it. And it's like, we all looked at him like, what the hell is he getting at? We've been swinging on this thing for like the past 45 minutes. So, of course, obviously nobody's fallen. No, the vine hasn't shifted down, jerked down all of a sudden. So it's like, I don't know what this guy was talking about. So he said that he was going to test it to make sure that it was safe for us to be swinging on it. Yeah. So this dad swung on the vine, and sure enough, it was his weight that caused the vine to suddenly drop like a good 3 or 4 feet in length from the tree that it was all wound up on. And so, as in mid swing, this dude just dropped. His body just dropped like a good 3 or 4 feet, and he hit a tree that was like had fallen onto the ground, that was just at a slight lean, and his backside scraped the top of this fallen tree, and he just tore up his whole backside, like total bark rash all over his ass and his back. And so, thanks to him, that was the end of swinging on that vine. So he ruined it for us. He freaking ruined it for us. And he had that big old rash going all the way from his ass crack up to like mid torso. But yeah, that was one heck of a story, one heck of a trip with that event happening. So, let's see, brand new Americans in here. Hey, brand new American. How's that swag pack? Have you used the magnifying card yet for anything? It's kind of a cool little doodad. Bama Ninja, how you doing? Mimo's here. Yay, Mimo! Yeah, Mimo. It was you and Gary, the last Ranger, going back and forth at last night's live with Grumpy. Y'all got jokes. Y'all are too funny, killing us. But yeah, Dad the test dummy. Don't just leave it to the dads to be them test dummies. That's for damn sure. I've been a test dummy numerous times. I actually fell on my ass at work yesterday, coming off of one of the ladders, getting boxes up and top stock down. And fell off because my left knee gave out on me. Yeah, Gary is easy material. But yeah, totally had my left knee give out on me from all the extreme activities and stuff that I did growing up, along with humping heavy gear freaking everywhere and all the hardcore stuff that the military had me doing. I have just destroyed the cartilage in my knees. So if I'm not careful, a lot of bending and lifting and twisting and over exerting my joints is not good. So I have to supposed to be careful at work and not doing too much to where my knees give out on me, because that it's not good. It's not fun. So I want to tell y'all the chasing the horse up the mountain story, but I also wanted to save that for Satisfaction. Uh, so I'm gonna hold off on that one. I'm gonna hold off on that one because Satisfaction's not here. Gotta get Maddie in one of these to tell him that story. So let's see. It's 7:30 my time, and the kids probably want dinner on the table. I know the meat's done. I heard my timer go off. So I hate cutting this short. I know it wasn't a very long live. Y'all go check out. It should be uploaded now that I can finish getting it posted. But y'all check out my video on this Condor Chief. It's a really sweet blade. Awesome fixed blade. So yeah, I'll get that posted up on my channel here in just a little bit after I get the kids food on the table. But Kydex sheath that is ambidextrous, as far as the fact that you take the nylon strapping out of the Kydex, and you flip it over to the other side, and that allows you to swap it from lefty to righty to whatever. But yeah, so y'all check out that video. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'm got a woodworking project, sort of a woodworking project, that I want to get done this weekend. So there might be a video posted on that early next week or by Sunday. So yeah, y'all have a wonderful weekend. If you're up north and you're getting pounded by all this icy, snowy garbage, be safe. Be careful. Stay warm. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for poking in the chat. And I appreciate y'all very, very much. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night.